I found out my daughter got married from online photos, so I sold her house and the shocking aftermath. You ever find out something so wild online that it flips your whole world upside down? Well, I did. One random evening, scrolling through social media, and there it was my daughter, in a wedding dress. Married, no call, no invite, nothing. So yeah, I sold her house, every brick, every memory. And what happened next, even I didn't see coming.
Hey, store lover. Welcome to the Narrative Hub, Reddit Stories. Believe me, this adventure gets wild, but it's only epic with you. Seriously, you make this possible. Want more stories? Greater adventure? Smash subscribe right now. Smash like. Comment below. Let's go.
The sight of her face, radiant beneath a veil I didn't help her choose, smiling at a man I didn't know, felt like a physical assault. My breath hitched, my hand shaking so violently the phone almost slipped from my grip, the screen illuminating the sheer fact of my exclusion. Jennifer Smith, that's me, a woman who spent 2 decades sacrificing her own ambitions so her daughter could have every advantage, every comfort, every roof over her head. And this was the return on my investment, a digital cold shoulder, a public, unforgivable statement that her mother was irrelevant. I didn't cry. Crying was for the weak. A cold, hard certainty settled in my chest, a stone of righteous fury. The house, that beautiful 3-bedroom starter home in the suburbs, was still in my name. I bought it, I maintained it, I paid every property tax. I told her it was hers, it was a gift of trust, a symbol of my unending love. Now it was evidence of my monumental naivete. I spent the next 3 days in a blur of focused, vengeful action. No calls, no texts, no communication with anyone. I needed silence to execute the strategy that was forming in my mind. I called a high-end realtor. "I need an urgent cash sale," I told him, my voice steady, betraying none of the seismic emotional event that had triggered my call. "No showings, just a quick closing. I'm willing to take a hit on the price." The realtor, a sleek man named Gregory Baker, saw dollar signs and asked no questions. It turns out a motivated, furious seller with a clean title is a dream come true. While my daughter was likely sipping champagne on a secluded beach, celebrating a life she had deliberately hidden from me, I signed a stack of papers. The bank draft for the sale price, a substantial, albeit reduced, sum, hit my account the following day. I didn't just sell the house. I sold the dream I had for her, the peace of mind I thought I had secured. I wanted her to feel the sharp, sudden jolt of what it was like to be erased, to have her foundation pulled out from under her. It was a vicious, cutthroat move, pure emotional competitiveness played out on a real estate stage. I knew it was brutal, but I honestly believed I was delivering a proportionate response to a profound betrayal. The realtor had one final obligation: to get the occupants to vacate. He called me late on a Saturday afternoon, sounding strangely agitated. "Mrs. Smith," he began, "I need to confirm something about the contents. Your daughter, Ms. Deborah Young, she's in the process of moving her things out, but she's claiming some unusual items are missing. She says they're extremely valuable, and frankly, her tone was alarming. She mentioned something about a safe." A safe? My daughter didn't have a safe. She was too transparent, too frivolous for secrets of that magnitude. But the sheer panic in the realtor's voice, the frantic tone Deborah Young must have used, made my own blood run cold. "A safe, Mr. Baker? I assure you, when I gave her that house, it was an empty shell," I countered, my voice tight. "Any safe she has must have been installed by her. It has nothing to do with me or the sale." The line went quiet for a beat. "Well, she claims she can't find the keys," he said. And she was absolutely hysterical, saying these weren't just personal belongings. She said she couldn't afford to lose them. She was shouting something about collateral and a loan shark. Loan shark. The word hit me like a physical blow, instantly overshadowing the righteous anger of the wedding betrayal. This was a shocking twist I hadn't prepared for. My daughter, the bright, successful woman I knew, involved with criminals. My carefully executed act of revenge suddenly felt small, stupid, and dangerously miscalculated. What on earth had I set in motion? The money was in my account. The house was sold. The new owner was due to take possession in less than 48 hours. There was no going back. I had to find out what was going on, and fast, before Deborah Young did something desperate. I knew my daughter was flying back later that evening. I had hours to prepare for the inevitable confrontation, but now, the stakes were no longer about hurt feelings. They were about survival. I drove to the house, parked 2 blocks away, and watched. It was dusk. The sold sign was a stark white monument to my fury. My heart hammered, a frantic drum against my ribs. I saw a large, beat-up van parked in the driveway and 2 figures, a woman, not my daughter, and a bulky man carrying boxes. They looked frantic, stressed. As the man turned, I caught a glimpse of his face. He wasn't James Anderson, the groom in the photos. This man had the cold, dead eyes of a predator. The curiosity was a tight knot in my gut, demanding to be unraveled. What was in that safe? And who exactly was this terrifying man clearing out my daughter's belongings? I was minutes away from learning the explosive truth, and the sheer terror of it was a potent magnet, forcing me to stay locked into the narrative. I didn't have to wait long. A sleek black town car pulled up to the curb. Out stepped Deborah Young, her honeymoon tan a cruel irony against her panicked expression. The man from the van immediately moved toward her, his posture aggressive, his face a mask of simmering rage. "Where is it, Deborah?" he demanded, his voice a low, gravelly snarl that carried even from my distance. "The house is gone, the new owner is coming, and the collateral is supposed to be in your safe. Where are the keys?" Deborah Young's composure cracked. "I don't know, I can't find them. I put them in the small antique box on the mantelpiece before we left, I swear." She cut herself off, her eyes going wide as she finally saw the sold sticker on the sign. Her head snapped up, searching. She locked eyes with me, sitting in my car, and the look of betrayal, of utter devastation mixed with a desperate plea, was far more painful than the wedding photos. The large man was still focused on the safe, on the collateral. Deborah Young finally stumbled over to my car, knocking on the window, her face tear-streaked. I rolled the window down a crack, but before she could speak, the man's next words shattered the air. "Listen to me, you foolish girl. If that money, or the diamonds you owe us, aren't in that safe, and if I can't open it, the clock is ticking. You know how this works. You married the wrong man and you're carrying the debt. If I don't get the keys, or if what's inside isn't enough to cover the loan, your new husband, James Anderson, will be paying for this with his life." Diamonds, debt, his life. It wasn't about the house. It wasn't about the wedding. My act of vengeance, selling the house, had unwittingly protected a secret, a deadly secret hidden in a safe, and now I had inadvertently created an impossible deadline. I had just traded a family rift for a life-or-death situation. "Mom," Deborah Young pleaded, her voice a desperate whisper. "You have to help me. I had to get married. He was going to—" "Whoa, hold up," I interrupted, cutting her off, my mind racing a mile a minute. The sheer weight of the lie she was about to tell, of the situation she was dragging me into, was overwhelming. "You married him. Is he even involved in this, or did you marry him for a reason?" She swallowed hard, looking toward the looming figure of the debt collector. "The safe," she choked out. "The key must be inside the house, or I can't think straight." I looked from my terrified daughter to the debt collector. The intense, cutthroat atmosphere was intoxicatingly dangerous. I had to choose: reveal my part in the house's sale and risk a full-blown criminal confrontation, or keep quiet and try to salvage the situation without admitting my extreme act of parental revenge. I knew one thing for certain: I wasn't leaving. The life of James Anderson, the man she had chosen over me, was hanging in the balance, and my daughter's desperation was palpable. The audience, now fully invested, must be asking, will she confess? Will she turn over the house proceeds? And what exactly is in that safe that is worth a man's life? The real story was just about to begin.